Cities like New York and Washington that have more amicable policies towards migrants have been dealing with the trend of having migrants and children come to their doorstep.
Yeah, it really started when governors from some southern states began transporting migrants from the border to cities in the north. New York City Mayor Eric Adams declared a state of emergency this month because of the strain on city resources. And caught in the middle of this political debate, migrant children, many of whom were flown to Martha's Vineyard last month. This poses a particular problem for the students and the schools trying to provide these children with an education.
Joining us now is Dr. Richie Smith, superintendent of Martha's Vineyard's public schools, and Leah Palmer, director of English language learning for the district. Richie, we know that the migrants who have brought, or the asylum seekers who have been brought into Martha's Vineyard, particularly coming from Venezuela, and have been already moved to other parts of Massachusetts. But what resources were or are available when children are brought in that come with their families across the border seeking asylum within the school system?
Well, first off, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to meet the two of you. The first thing I think I'd like to say to describe our school system is that we take care of children, all children, and it's the most sustainable part of what we do. And so when children come to our doorstep, whether it was in the situation of a month ago or whether we have children coming to our schools of folks that are moving here, we immediately try to assess their need. And again, we approach with support and care. That particular time that I think that has garnered so much national attention, we as educators just deployed ourselves and started supporting the families and the children directly. And again, taking care of the families is taking care of the children. So,
Richie, I love that point because obviously this is a political debate that has a lot of people fired up. But when we're looking at these children, they have already been through such an experience, many of them traumatic experiences, leaving a bad situation, trying to make their way to a place that is safe for them. Leah, when you're working with these children, how well are they able to adjust to their new environment? Tell me more about the children that you've met and how they're doing.
Yeah, so like Richie was saying around the aspect of care. So right when new families enroll, right now my office is here over at the high school, we meet with the students and the families and learn about who the students are and what the families have been through. And in that process, if there are additional resources needed, we then are able to reach out to community organizations to support the families, so the students can have the best first days and experience in school right away. I think that, one thing that we really pride ourselves on here in Martha's Vineyard is looking at the whole picture and ensuring that, each student and family is getting what they need. And language access is a key part of that. So we are very fortunate here in Martha's Vineyard to have bilingual and bicultural staff. We work very hard on providing in-person interpretation. We have an amazing group of interpreters, and that enables us to right away have important conversations with families. And, in doing that, ensuring that some of our families have limited literacy skills. So ensuring that we know that and we can offer resources in oral or video instead of written translations.
Right. And in your area, all of those resources sound, and one can assume, and I'm only assuming here, that, that the tax base there can support all of those resources. This started as a clearly political move by a group of governors who say, of course, Governor DeSantis is not from a border state, but in terms of Arizona and Texas, they're saying, look, other states need to be responsible as well, or need to support these people. Of course, that was not the point they were trying to make. But, you know, with the benefit of the doubt, perhaps that is true, that every state needs to come together and provide some form of assistance to the thousands and thousands of asylum seekers that are at the border. What can the federal government do, and what can states do to better support those migrants, those asylum seekers, and especially the children, from your perspective, from this recent experience?
Lilia, if I may, I think regardless of political ideology or political party affiliation, I think where that incident happened, you know, a month ago, or however many weeks ago that was, I think we just weren't prepared. Right. And I know people on the border states are doing the best they can. In the end, the individuals are caring people, I'm sure of that. And so just like the folks here on Martha's Vineyard, the narrative was out there that we are a very rich island. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, we are an island community. And so as far as resources go, we aren't that resource rich. Our island is a tourist island, and the demographics change, and the financial status of us changes throughout the year. Right now, we have just our full-time residents here. Dukes County, of which we're a part of, is it's actually one of the poorer counties in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We have 6 towns on the island of Martha's Vineyard. A lot of people, folks think that that's just one community. We actually have 6 different towns on the island, and we have 2,100 full-time students. 40%, upwards of 40% of those students are from low socioeconomic backgrounds. We have a large English language learner population that continues to grow more and more. We've had a very large influx. So when we talk about the migrant situation that happened weeks ago, we consistently and constantly are growing with our immigration population, namely from Brazil. And so we have responded to the need and will continue to do so. What can the federal government do? I think communicate with one another. I think states can communicate with one another. I think it's about preparation. When something like that happened weeks ago, with a heads up, we can be more prepared. We did something like a limited triage. We had community service, we had police, we had fire, we had clergy. Everybody on the island came together to take care of the immigrants, the families, and those children. We may not be resource rich as an island. We're very, very rich in human resources. We are a very caring island, and so that response that was there is not unique. It wasn't anything that was a surprise. That's what Martha's Vineyard does, is we consistently and constantly take care of people. Yeah,
it was evidence in that response, treating these families as human beings, certainly.
Yes, and it's good politics, to check back in with you after the initial big headlines to see how people are doing there. Right. Richie Smith, Leah Palmer, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.